You sound different again today. Where are you today?
I'm in a hotel.
Oh, that's why you sound different.
Probably. Is it deeper? Is it far away? What is different about it?
Sounds like you're on your phone today.
That doesn't really help me. Like echoey?
No, it just sounds like you're calling in from a mobile.
But how is that different though?
Oh, I don't know. We'll ask
I can
Peroty when he
adjust it.
gets here. We'll ask
is
Peroty
it
when he gets here.
Hold on. Okay. Now, is this better or worse?
Sound
Or
like
the
my
same?
optician.
I don't know what that means. Is it better, worse, indifferent? What?
I said you sound like my optician.
I don't know what that means. I know what an optician means, but I don't know what your optician sounds like.
Well, when he says, when they try the different lenses, they flick the different lenses, they go, is it better with or without?
Oh, that's what you mean. Sound-wise, though, dude, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Come on.
Still sound the same?
Still sound the same. Son of a...
One extremely annoying shift later.
All right. Better?
Ooh. Just keep talking.
Whoa, now you're coming through my laptop. What the fizzle-dizzle? Oh.
You fiddle way too much.
I want you in my headset? Question mark? Alright, say something.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is Night Demon coming through loud and clear in your head.
But do I sound better, worse, indifferent? What?
Yeah, you sound better.
Better, okay. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I really don't know what I'm doing wrong. They said
you're holding it wrong.
If you go through the mission, asked across Bungie, a bunch of people, right?
Right.
If you finish this week's mission, right, and you get the frog and everything like that, you'll be able to unlock the ability to focus the solar sidearm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've done all that. And now she says, "Oh, we'll come back next week. I'll have more stuff for you." So I can't progress any further.
Did you put the frog in his little house?
Earlier.
Are you sure?
He's in his little engram in the helm.
See, I deposited the frog because I was surprised when it said frog. So I know he's here somewhere.
Right. Did you deposit? Did you go to the helm? And you know where the radio is in the helm, where it says it's away from failsafe. Yeah. To the left of that, you should be able to deposit the frog in his little engram.
No, there's nothing to the left of that.
Well, you haven't finished the quest then.
It says we can't go any further.
Right. If you look on your director, if you go to the tower, is Ikora flashing?
I already talked to Ikora.
And she says that's it. That's the end of the thing.
Yeah. Now she's just got the abilities to sell me. That's it.
Okay. Have you looked in your quest tab? Is the NES 005? Is that still you still need to do that?
Yeah. It's telling me I got to get food. I got 14 of 30 food.
Okay. So the bytes. Yes, you need to go and play Battlegrounds. I'd just do Battlegrounds basically until you've done that bit of the quest.
Okay. So even though I have the frog, I have to do the food thing, right?
Yeah. There's a couple more steps after that, and then you should be all right to focus.
The froggy is hungry. He needs nourishment.
But I don't even see the frog because I wanted to pet the frog. I wanted to hang out with the frog. But
you can pet the frog. You can pet the frog once you've got the frog in the helm.
Oh, and that only happens if I get the food?
Yes.
Until then, you can pet the doggo or the kitty cat.
I have neither of those. Not that I'm aware of.
Well, no one to tell you. And kitty cat's an emote that they sold last week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have the cat emote. I was actually meant in the helm, get a dog and a cat in the helm and don't even know.
No, the cats are just there anyway.
Are they driving the helm?
Yes. They are the reason humanity still exists.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
See, I think you went wrong this week in watching Astacross and whoever else you watched about how to do that. Time Sausage Gaming had me covered every step of the way.
Nice. Very cool.
Is it cool to start the show now?
Yeah. I never said we couldn't.
I
was just working out my audio, bruh.
Well, that's every week.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Night Demon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
So welcome to the show this week. Are we live? Do we have people watching us, listening to us?
No, not on this Wi-Fi.
So welcome to the show. I am Night Demon, joined by roving reporter Respawn in the bayous of Wisconsin. No.
What? There's like 9 things wrong with that sentence. No, West Virginia.
No.
The boonies of West Virginia.
Ah, that's what you said, the boonies.
Same idea.
Yeah.
Do you, in fact, hear the Banjos respawn?
About that.
If you don't hear the Banjos, you're not yet in the boonies. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I hear Banjos. The area that I'm in, the crazy thing is the area that I'm in has really nice houses, like really expensive looking houses. And there's this one house that's all decrepit that still has an outhouse outside. I'm like, wait a minute.
Welcome to wild, wonderful West Virginia.
That's the old man that's been living there for 90 years and will not sell his property to anybody else.
And that other amazing smooth voice you've just heard is Peroty, our pink-panted Titan.
So, did you guys watch any of the opening ceremonies? And were you surprised at the Traveler's appearance during those ceremonies?
No. In fact, I was gaslit.
No.
I was actually gaslit because the PSAP that I'm working at had the Olympics on, but it wasn't until I almost left the PSAP that I noticed the banner showed it was the 2012 Olympics. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
that's the one in the UK. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. London and Paris are actually different places.
Yeah,
and 2012 and 2024 are different times.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I was watching, and I mean, I guess it makes sense since there is that big tower in Paris.
The big tower or the
Eiffel Tower?
Well, yeah, we'll see. Well, I think I mean, they have the tower, and then the Traveler showed up right at the end and is now hovering over Paris.
To be fair, Las Vegas also has that tower.
Yeah, but Paris is the OG one, and I'm pretty sure
actually Paris isn't even the OG one. Paris is the second one, I believe.
Oh, Las Vegas has a big eyeball, but they don't have the Traveler hovering over the city.
Oh.
So whoever designed the opening to the games is a big fan of Destiny. Well done, sir.
Really?
Or madam. Or whoever you are.
Yeah.
Well done.
No, I mean, it's absolutely, I mean, it all makes sense. You've got the Traveler over the city. You have a tower. I mean, I didn't realize we were playing in Paris all this time, but apparently we were.
No, maybe the Traveler moves over, is it Russia? Moves over towards Russia. This is how it all starts in real life. Whoever created Destiny is from the future, and they're just preparing us.
Can I be a guardian?
I'm not sure.
I want to be a guardian. And actually, if it's the beginning, can I be one of the warlords? That'd be great.
Well, are we?
Yeah,
are
I
we
can see you as
in,
the warlord.
Yeah, I mean, are we in the Dark Ages yet? Do we pass the Dark Ages?
I think we're getting close.
Well, we still have to hit the Golden Age, right? So the Golden Age came before the fall. So, we got that to look forward to.
Didn't we already have the Golden Age?
Nope.
I'm sure with all this technology, this is our Golden Age.
We can't transmit anything unless I'm living in the Dark Ages.
Well,
I mean,
it doesn't have to be accurate 100%.
Why not? I want it to be accurate 100%.
And how do you know transmitting came in the Golden Age?
Because after the Golden Age was the fall, it was the collapse, and I don't think we made a whole lot of technological advancements during the fall.
Could have. Don't know.
Sure, could have.
You're just making assumptions here.
I am.
I know this is technically Destiny stuff, but it's Destiny rambling.
It's Destiny stuff when the Traveler shows up on your TV unexpected.
At the Olympics.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, that's the Traveler. You can't tell me otherwise. It's a big white ball hovering over a city. Come on now.
And it is Destiny related because, as Peroty demonstrated, the Traveler is at the Olympics. So, we should know what's going on.
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Anyway. How was y'all's week this week? I understand y'all didn't get a whole lot of playtime. To be fair, neither did I, or whatever.
Well, I did get a couple of hours before I went to work last night to do the story, which was quite nice. And managed to do that. And as I explained to you in the opening, that you have to do various different things, and there's two kind of quests running side by side. One that is the general story one that you have to do for the week, and then the one rescuing Captain Jameson.
But do we want to rescue Captain Jameson? I don't know. I
have questions about that. I mean, how did it get there?
How did he live this long?
Yeah, because if he came with the spaceship, say we had them on the spaceship and we took them there, how has he survived that long, and how is he the only one we've ever seen?
Either he's a guardian and we don't know.
We're assuming he's a he. It might be a she.
Sorry, either they are a guardian, which we don't know, or
a frog guardian, a bit like Frog Thor.
Battletoads Destiny crossover. Here we go.
Oh yes,
here it comes.
Now we stumped Respawn.
Yeah, and why is he a frog? Like when did the frog transformation happen?
Yeah. What was funny is I watched a video from TDT this week. 11 things that you didn't know, possibly didn't know about Destiny, and one of them was he had this bow equipped and he was running around in the helm, and as he ran towards the radio, he could see the outline of like the engram, and he was like, I wonder when, what this is going to be. Is it going to be some part of some exotic quest and things? No, just had to wait a week, and there was something to do with the story this week. So that was interesting. I'll include that in the show notes. It's a very interesting video.
Just wait for a frog. Then you're all set.
But one thing that Ikora did mention this week was something to do with the story coming up that potentially could see us going back to the Infinite Forest. Now that sounds interesting. I know a lot of people weren't particularly fussed with the Infinite Forest, and Bungie bringing back old assets. People kind of go, we're going to play something out that they're just reusing assets. They reuse assets all over the place. I mean, several places on Nessus look like other places that we visited on Venus, or
Venus is
different
Vex too, isn't it? So yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. They like go right. This is a waterfall from here. This is kind of a cylindrical kind of area that we can kind of put here. If we turn it sideways, put a waterfall in the middle, it looks different. No, it doesn't. But hey ho. But it doesn't matter to me. It's just like the interesting thing of what we're doing and where we're going with this story, and it would be interesting to see if we do kind of revisit the Infinite Forest and what that could potentially mean for the story, because they did allude in the game preview, didn't they? I think it was the story director. She was talking about we're going to be visiting a very storied place in Destiny. I think that's what she said, something along those lines anyway. And that could be the Infinite Forest, which could then open up possibilities of playing other things, bringing back the strikes. Imagine if we had the strikes back.
No,
the Infinite Forest?
Yeah, we had there was 2 strikes that we had. There was the one which was the Vex simulation where you had the giant cabal that then it wasn't the giant cabal. It was the Vex Minotaur thing that then got flattened by the giant cabal coming in, didn't he? Just flattened him.
That's funny, yeah.
And then we had the other one, which was, and I can't remember. Oh, it was you went to kind of this cylindrical castle and you were fighting Vex constantly, weren't you? And they had the
where you climbed up and there was a giant Vex on rails that went around the circle at the top.
Yes. I know we've kind of
but yeah,
possibly got that or the brother to that one this week in the core kind of battlegrounds. But that would be interesting if that all kind of tied together and the Infinite Forest tied with Nessus, that could then allow us to maybe go to Venus again. I'd like to see Venus come back and have some way of getting to Venus.
But why though? I mean, no, I'm not being critical. I'm being genuine. Why? What was there that we enjoyed or that we are looking forward to coming back or anything like that? Legitimately, because I don't remember that far back. I think we all know my memory's not that great, right? So
you remember Venus? You could drive around Venus, and you could literally drive past the entrance to the Vault of Glass.
Yeah, but okay, cool. There's the Vault of Glass, and like, What?
But it was a location in Destiny 1.
Yeah, but like, was it a fun location? Did we get to do cool things there? I mean,
yes, we did.
We did. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well, I could tell you
honestly,
we did, and you just
I
believe
was
me.
wanting new stuff. I
Well,
like
it would be new for Destiny 2. I mean, a lot of us would like the Plaguelands to come back as part of, you go through the Cosmodrome and you can get to the Plaguelands again, which would be a cool area because there's several different things that you could do in the Plaguelands that were different to the Cosmodrome. But we haven't had that back yet. But I was just thinking kind of story-wise that the Infinite Forest ties with Osiris and Saint 14, and we still haven't seen the Saint 14 shotgun yet, the Perfect Paradox. Nobody seems to have got it in the game as yet. So it could be tied to a quest that, go through the Infinite Forest and find Saint 14, that like the original one or the one that we have, or find, because we had the community puzzle, wasn't it, that you go through the corridors of time, and that's where we found Argrave with the Ergo Sum sword on the top, didn't we? Or we were led to believe it was Argrave, but that also could then tie in with Saint 14, and we could find the Perfect Paradox shotgun. It could be that as well. It could be something along those lines. I'm just spitballing here.
I understand. I just did something depressing. I just deleted a max level aberrant action with heal and incandescent.
Good work.
Good. Yeah, good on you. I deleted a chess piece this week.
Oh God, it's still here.
I deleted a chess piece this week. It was 1996, and that was one of the highest drops that I'd had, and it was just in my postmaster. It was in my postmaster, and it was just on the line of click delete, click delete, click delete, and I deleted it. So, but hey ho, I'm not racing to get to max power level. I'm just enjoying playing the game, doing the things that I want to do. So, Peroty, have you rescued Captain Jameson and completed that part of the story yet?
I have not, because after trying Dual Destiny with you last week after the show, and then Mr. Blue Screen is back, so I ran with him through the Pale Heart to get him to unlock Dual Destiny. I have not been online anything since, and that was like Monday. So no, I've done nothing this week story-wise, nothing this week Dual Destiny-wise, nothing this week anything-wise.
So your take on Dual Destiny as we played it last week, what was your initial take on it?
I mean, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the mechanic of it, of just the the light and the dark and matching the icons. Also, the frustration of going, I know the icon I'm looking for. Why can I not see it? And just realizing, oh, that captain or the knight you killed, that wasn't the right knight. You need to kill the next knight. Then you'll see the one the night demon's trying to direct you to shoot. Yeah. I kept jumping around looking. I'm going, I don't see this. I don't see this picture anywhere. And then finally another knight shows up, or I realize the knight has run off into the corner and hidden in the back and going, I don't want to be hurt. I saw what you did the last 6 guys you sent out here. I don't want to be the next one. But no, I really enjoyed it. The clock bit, whatever at the end. I don't know if it was. I think we just ran out of time or ran out of coordination and never quite got it.
You didn't finish it?
No, we didn't finish it. We had. No. I think we had it. We were going. The first round was going really, really well. We got through the whole thing, got to the end, and then I think just either missed up a spot or bugged out on us. I honestly don't know which, because a couple times I don't know. I feel like it did different things. Because we were coordinating a night demon was shooting, and a couple times I was like, I suddenly don't have things like the clock hand, like the clock numbers are just gone entirely, and they weren't the last time we did this.
Because the clock numbers are gone because you need to kill your enemies that spawned, right? If you have enemies that spawn, your clock doesn't have hands. Oh, you're talking about the first clock and the second clock?
First clock,
yeah. The second clock we never got to.
Yeah, it kept bugging out for us, and we tried it 2 or 3 times before we kind of had to give up. But
you know the mechanics, right?
Yeah.
The mechanics were there, and like I said, the first time it worked out fine. I think it was just we either shot the wrong thing or it just said no. Again, unclear on which happened. But then the second run, we got right back to it, and it was like. And that's when it bugged out, and I'm going, I don't have enough numbers on this clock to tell you what you should shoot, because I can't tell. I have neither the line
And it was
nor do I have the thing it should point to. So I can't tell you what's actually there. I can tell you what I'm seeing, but I feel like we're missing pieces of this puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the clock, like, the first one does bug out, right? But the second one is probably the easier of the two. And that's, for some reason, that's where people get hung up a lot, you know? Because the first one, the way that I find it to be easier is you just type in the chat the 2 that you guys have lit, right? Instead of the 6 that you don't, you know? And when you look...
That's what we were doing verbally.
Right,
because,
well, I mean...
we're on consoles.
Yeah, I don't know. It's easier to type it in the chat that way, because, like, I forget all the time. I think we know that. So I just look at the chat and I'm like, okay, he had that, I had that. This is what we have left, right? And it's so much easier calculating 3 numbers instead of the 6 or whatever. And then the last clock is, what's the one number you have in common? Shoot that, you know? So, yeah, I mean, it's really not that hard. Although I've run it. I wish there was a stat to show how many times I've run it, because I've got every single cloak except for like 4 of them, I think, according to my checklist.
It's not that hard when it doesn't bug out on you and works appropriately. Because it's really frustrating. Like, I'm not a big fan of the timed events anyway, but it's really frustrating to fight through it. Again, it's not super long. It's 20 minutes total or something. Like it's not a long activity, but it's really frustrating to get back to there in your limited time, and then you can't actually complete it because it simply does not work. And now it's like, great, now I just have to restart this over again and hope it works the next time.
It's not fun. Yeah, whenever it bugs out like that, for sure. But overall, the activity is not as hard as people make it out to be. Once you know them, the clock is the hardest part, in my opinion. And once you have that down, you're good to go, man. And do you guys have the macrocosm yet?
Nope.
No.
That makes it infinitely easier, by the way, right? Because once you have the macrocosm, it does so much damage to all the boss type enemies. It's ridiculous.
And I don't really feel like, killing things was not the problem. I never felt like, I'm not able to kill things quick enough. It was more just is the game going to work, and am I going to be able to complete the objective I'm trying to complete by killing 90 people what we're shooting?
Yeah, but you said the time is what got you, right?
Well, the time what got us because, well, 1, it bugged out on us, and 2, we just, we screwed up 1, and then, we could have worked through it had we had more opportunities to do it, but then the timer ran out.
Oh.
Like it wasn't that we were getting killed or getting overrun. It just, we screwed up one of the things and, had to do another round of it, which we could have if we had time, but there was no time.
Yeah, but running out of time would really help. Again, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but the macrocosm, you kill the bosses so quick, you have so much time at the end. Like, usually when I finish, I have 20 plus minutes left when I'm done. Because the macrocosm just kills them so damn fast, dude. So you might not feel like you're having issues killing the boss, but if you're not deleting him within a few seconds, it adds up. It adds up fast.
It does. And one thing that we did find out is that the crystals that you can find throughout, and I know there are feathers in there as well, but the crystals that you can shoot to give you the extended time only seem to be on a limited kind of to the first time that you play through. So I've shot all the crystals going through when I was doing it and trying to get through doing it. So when I was going through with you that one time, there weren't any crystals around to kind of extend the time, apart from one that I'd missed going through before.
Yeah.
When I did it with Peroty, those crystals showed up again, but then I shot one.
Because he went through? Right?
Yeah, because it was his kind of first time going through. So I shot one to give us an extra 2 minutes. And then when we had to then go back through, I thought, I'll go and shoot that crystal again. It wasn't there the second time that we ran through. So they're a one-time kind of thing, which doesn't make sense, because if you're trying to get through it and you're not that good at trying to get through it and you need those extra 2 minutes here and there, I don't understand why they disappear.
I think it's like a training wheels mechanic. Like, we understand this is your first time through. We'll help you with the time so that you can maybe learn the mechanics, but the second time through, the third time through, you should know the mechanics by now.
Yes,
so
but
get the training wheels.
That's fine if you've completed it. If you haven't completed it, they should still be there.
I see.
So I'm not sure whether that is a bug or a glitch or an issue that Bungie kind of need to address. or not.
Yeah, if nothing else, it's very confusing going, oh, well, this is the thing that's here that I can take advantage of to help me on this run, and then going, no, it's not, just kidding. Sorry, that was a one-time use. Should have used it more wisely. Should have kept it until you were ready to use it that one time.
Mm.
Just cycle through another friend that hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I'm really again. I haven't had time to play this week, but like I'm really feeling the small little. You just have to figure out this game because we're just not going to tell you anything, and you're gonna have to figure it out. It just some of that grates on me. And have you guys
learned
noticed
that with Jez and his wife? Honestly.
Yeah, and have you guys noticed the new bug now introduced in the last couple of patches, where the top of your weapon, like the name, will go underneath the emblem on your screen?
What?
No.
No,
I'll
legit.
see if I have a screenshot of it. But like, you know, like when you're mousing over a weapon, it has like the name at the top and then shows all the stats. If that extends up to the emblem, like to where your emblem is at the top of your character screen, it goes under that layer. So like you couldn't necessarily like read the name of the weapon you were looking for. Like it's like their Z indexes are wrong, where it puts that layer underneath and not over it. And it seems to be happening with everything. I don't know if it's an Xbox thing or a whole Destiny thing. I haven't seen anybody mention it, and I meant to mention it last week and totally forgot about it. But I was like again, like it's not anything major, but it's just another paper cut, and where I'm like, really, guys, like this, like why are we like this? Why is this happening?
I did have an instance when I got to the end of the mission and I inspected what I kind of got. Because I'd done the dunk at the radio light thing, and it gave me an exotic. And when I clicked on the exotic, it extended the exotic description. Like it gave the exotic description of what the exotic perk was, and then just like a big block of yellow underneath it. And I was like, is there meant to be something else to this exotic that I'm missing? And
I've noticed that too.
14, so I came off of it, went back on it, and it kind of reduced it back in size to what it should be, kind of just that little box. And then it did it again a couple of other times, and I was like, that is really strange. It's like it takes like what the legendary kind of weapons and armor look like, because they have so many extra stats underneath, and it goes, right, this is the box. And if you hover over like the legendary one before you get to the exotic, it goes, oh, well, this is the size of the box. And I'm like, no, that's not it should automatically adjust. So maybe it's something, maybe they've done something like that with
just another visual glitch. I noticed the same thing because I saw it was like, why are you telling me this one line of text in the space for like 6 lines of text? I'm going, like, is there more? Are you going to tweak this? Is there some activity up, or some secret quest that I'm not aware of that we need to go find things? It's always a game of, is this a bug or is this some new community activity that's dropped now? I'll be seeing it, hearing about online in the next hour.
You guys have both come up with 2 different bugs, and I'm gonna add a third that I've come across. I don't know if you guys have. Is when I'm completing activities, right? Because I haven't seen what you guys are talking about, but what I have seen is when I complete an activity and you get your loot drop, right? As an example earlier, it showed me get 3. It showed the solar sidearm, right? And in the bottom corner, it had the number 3.
I had that last night. Yes, I had that last night. It was like I went because I was filled with strange coins, and this week, if you go and visit Zer, he gives you that bundle of strange coins that they were giving you to say sorry that they messed up. So I went to Zer and was spending strange coins with him, and I was like, well, I've thrown 30 at you to kind of get the bundle of cores and the bundle of 11 cores, and I don't know what else to kind of do. So I was kind of going through and just picking random things out of his inventory and deleting them. And then I thought, I might just kind of use the one at a time thing so that I can just pick up the bundle. Did that, and it was giving me blues, but it was going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I was like, what? And like for raid banners, it suddenly went 33, and it counted down to 1. I was like, have you just given me 33 raid banners, or was it just 1?
Yeah.
Because I'd never actually paid any attention to my raid banners, I went and had a look, and I was like...
Well, you said yours counted down?
Yeah, I didn't know whether it was kind of going, well, we're going to give you 33. And I was like, okay, maybe not. And then for a blue helmet, it came up with 2. And I was like, and then I looked in my inventory and went, no, you've only given me 1. So yeah.
No, mine hadn't counted down.
But
when I go in, I don't have the multiple like it says I do. But I haven't seen it actually count down to like 0 or whatever, or 1, whatever the hell it's supposed to be.
Yeah, go and visit Zer and just pop the random engram that you can give 1 strange coin for an engram and see what happens. Because that wasn't too bad. That was giving me raid banners. It gave me upgrade modules. It gave me the enhancement cores. I thought that was quite good, that every now and then, instead of a blue, it was giving me something worthwhile. So that's why I was kind of just popping it with but yeah, I picked up the bundle of strange coins, and I'm now back up to something like 90 odd strange coins, because I thought I don't really want anything this week from Zer, but I think it's good now that he's selling things like the catalysts for people that haven't been able to get those catalysts that were kind of locked behind an exotic mission or locked behind a season that just Bungie haven't been able to reintroduce anywhere in the game. I mean, you could have reintroduced it somewhere else in the game to give more purpose for people to go and play certain activities, but giving it to Zer is one way to go, Bungie. You know, some would say it's a little bit of a lazy way, but others would just say it's a good way.
Are they just trying to make them relevant?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing, isn't it? He's now relevant because he has a reward track, and Rahul has a reward track. Hawthorne, I think she has a reward track as well. So it's like we'll give you a reward track, and you can get stuff from it. So,
but I like that, you know. In my warped mind, it's all like, you haven't seen me in months. If you come talk to me, I'll give you a thing.
What do we think about not having to figure out where is Zer every week, and he's just in the same spot, hanging out by the ramen every week? Is that a nice change, or do you miss going to visit the different places? Going, oh, I haven't been to Nessus in 6 months, and now I'm back to see Zer again.
I think it's a little bit of a shame. I think it's nice, but I think it is a little bit of a shame that it was part of Destiny's, like, since Destiny 1, wasn't it? Where Zer, you know, you go and find Zer wherever he's kind of hiding on whatever planet or whatever part of the tower. And yeah, it's they could have done a pop-up shop. Loads of people do pop-up shops. He could have had a pop-up shop, just plonking behind a kind of a Vex thing, and yeah.
So I did add. I found a link for the show notes to put an example of, you know, what I was talking about. You know, in this case with my machine gun going. What's the name of this machine gun? I don't know. It's hiding behind the Iron Banner wolves, and you'll never know.
But no, what I was gonna joke about all the people that were hosting the Where Is Zer websites are now just out all that money.
You're locked.
Sorry, bro. Oh goodness. But have you done the new activity parody with the frog and everything?
No, he said he didn't.
You did? I'm sorry, I missed out on that.
No, I mean, I was just playing a bunch of that activity, but no, I haven't. I think I'm at the point where I need to go collect Radiolarium, or I have to go plant, you know, run around Nessus and plant things. And that's what I was doing before I went to go help Blue with his Pale Heart stuff. Yeah, so I've done part of it because I was like, let me just run these, and you know, I'm like, I'm sure there's weekly challenges, and I'm sure there's, you know, red border unlock opportunities. Let me just turn my brain off and run through these. I'm just treating them like strikes. Let me go run through this and pick up little bits and pieces, and Failsafe will say she's proud of me, so we're good.
And the one thing that I do miss from kind of just leveling up all the kind of vendors and things is not actually getting enough of those like exotic ciphers. And I know you can go to Zer and you can pick up the quests that you can do each week from him, but it's not like if you rank it up with Rahul on his second track, there's a possibility of just getting an exotic cipher. The gunsmith, you know, once you've kind of got your golf ball from that first kind of initial like run through, I know they give you enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, and upgrade modules as you kind of keep going through, and at the end there's an exotic that you can or exotic engram that you can pick up. But it would be nice to have like the ciphers, because the ciphers now do more than what they used to be able to do. And I know you can only hold 5, but if you want to kind of upgrade your exotic armor, then it would be nice to be able to hold a few more or have more places to go and get them, so that when you do get them and you get a piece of exotic armor that you want to kind of make into artifice style armor, or you want to kind of purchase the new exotics and you've got your engrams and you've got your glimmer, but you haven't got your exotic cipher to go and, specifically get that from Rahul. It would be nice if the reward tracks gave you those. I know there are some on the actual season reward track that I think 101 there's one, and then there was one I think further back around like 50 or something, that there was one on the reward track on the paid one, I believe. I'm not sure if there's one on the free track. So that's something I think they've got to think about, is that, yeah, I mean, people pay for the reward track, but then when you're playing the free track, they're giving you Bright Dust and they're giving you Eververse engrams. And it's like,
you want that money, brother?
But that seems more rewarding to do, to get the, to get Bright Dust to go and purchase stuff at the Eververse store, or getting Eververse engrams. So, I don't know.
You're not wrong, but like, especially with you needing exotic ciphers for so many things, we should, like you said, have more ways to get exotic ciphers than a one-a-week kind of thing. In addition to that, the pattern where it lets you put a pattern on a weapon so you can extract it, I forgot what that's called.
That is called the Deep Sight Harmonizers.
That thing. We need more of those too, because I ran out last season and I was out until this whole last season, and I was out until this episode. Right? Yeah. So yeah, and to be out for that long, just to be able to put a pattern on a weapon is a little excessive, I think, with no other ways to get it aside from the track. I think,
Yeah. I mean, they throw the Ascendant alloys at you quite a lot, which are the red golf ball ones for doing various different things with weapon crafting. So they allow you to have those, but they just, it's quite hard, isn't it? I mean, I know they don't want to kind of overflood the market with the Deep Sight Harmonizers and the other ones I mentioned earlier that I've forgotten the name of. Exotic ciphers. Yeah, that's the one.
Never enough materials.
Okay.
Never enough.
Never the materials that you need, and way too many materials the ones you don't.
Exactly.
If only we could exchange some. Be like, can I bring you 300 of these things that I don't need for one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Raul didn't used to do exactly that, right?
The thing is, at some point, I had loads and loads of the Ascendant Shards, the golf balls, and I was like, I just need like either enhancement prisms or the enhancement cores. Can I just give you one of these and you give me like 50 of the cores? And
no,
it doesn't do that. It doesn't do the reverse. I'd like it to do the reverse as well, because it gives you the option of whatever if you need specific things. Because I was enhancement core poor, because I didn't do any of the kind of the glitches or the farms for when like the weapons came up at Banshee, to do like dismantling, buying them with Glimmer and dismantling them to get the cores. So I didn't have like 99 stacks of these things. And I was like, well, I've got like 10 of these golf balls and I'm not using the golf balls at this point in time. Can I kind of depreciate those into the cores, or into the cores? No. But
I mean, but no, you're right though. I mean, think about in-game economics, right? If those are really sought after, and Raul knows that there's a huge demand for them, he'll be like, you know what? I need some golf balls because I'm out. So I'll give you, because it takes 10 cores to create a sliver and 10 slivers to create a shard, right? So I'm not saying you get all 100, but maybe 75. Hell, maybe
even 50.
Yeah.
But I don't think the demand is there for it. The Bungie are like, just go and play the game, we'll throw the cores at you, which they do, and from dismantling stuff. But at that point in time, I wanted them to build a build so that I could go and play the game. And I was like, I can't do what I want to kind of do before I go and play the game. I've got to go and play the game, this kind of run around and get some cores before I can kind of get into actually what I want to kind of do.
Just need to take advantage of our economy to say, give me this, here's that.
No, well, I'm fine now. I'm up to 169 cores, and I'm not being silly with them because I was being a little bit silly. I was like, "Ooh, I can kind of make this weapon enhanceable, and then if I can level it up, and I could throw all these cores at it." And then I was like, "I now don't have any cores. Well, why did I just do that?"
The tone change just had me a nerve, bro. What the hell?
Because it was there, and you could have.
I could have.
I was bitten this week by the respawn bug of I'm going to take this lovely weapon and I'm going to enhance it. No, you're not. Just kidding. You can think you're going to enhance it, but it's not going to enhance. So I can't remember now I can't remember if it was the Luna's Howl I was trying to enhance to run things with, or if it was the Abernaction sidearm. And I was like, well, one day this will be enhanced whenever they get around to fixing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're in the same boat going, yep, that's very much pretty pictures that are not the ones I want them to be.
Definitely. But apart from that, I haven't managed to go and play the Havoc hardware. I really want to kind of do that. I want to try and see if I can use my sword build in that, because I'm not particularly looking at kind of blocking the I know when I use that in Iron Banner,
Stop. What?
I know it didn't really work.
Turtling to a new and exciting.
No. I know it doesn't really work with the blocking in Iron Banner, but it would work.
Okay.
But I think it would work a little bit better if I had more ammo for it, that people wouldn't expect all the sword stuff. So I wanted to try it, but I haven't been able to try it because I just haven't been able to get in there and play it, because I wanted to do the story stuff so we could talk about the story this week. There are a few weapons that are completely outside the meta that work really well for me, that I've got that are old weapons as well. And I think using them in that kind of hardware scenario might work pretty well. And because I use them when it's, what was the one that we just have with the gunplay? I can't remember what it's called now because we haven't. Sorry,
wasn't that Checkmate or something?
Is it Momentum Control?
Oh, I was way off. Never mind.
Something like that, isn't it? It's just you can still build up your supers and things, but the guns hit harder. People were building up their catalysts for like the Jade Rabbit, the Mida multi-tool in there, because it was hitting for a lot harder than what it would be in normal Crucible. And I can't remember the game mode now.
Momentum Control is definitely, that's when the Scout Rifles were rating supreme.
Yeah, so the guns that I use in that work really well, and they work really well in normal Crucible, so they work even better in the Momentum Control. So I'm thinking the Havoc hardware will be really good because it is just gunplay, so I'm not going up against people that are slowly building up supers or specials and whatever else. So I'm excited to do it. Hopefully it will still be there this coming week. I'm not sold on the supremacy part of it. I don't mind a kind of clash version. I was thinking I'm just going to go in there and shoot people. Other people can pick up the crests, but because that just didn't work out very well for me and Iron Banner Tribute. So,
well, that's okay. That worked out for nobody in Iron Banner Tribute, and Bungie agreed with you.
They agreed with us. So, what do we want to talk about? Do we want to do the update 8 or as in Respawn's words, boobs?
Yeah, the boob update. I was gonna slide that in when we were having
boob update.
It's update 8.088. It's got to be the boob update. If not, I don't know what to tell you. There's not a lot in the boob update. It's mostly reducing the Still Hunt's golden gun damage when using the Celestial Nighthawk by 33%, and fixing the issue where the point contact cannon brace could spawn lightning strikes on unintended melees. I'm sorry, every melee is intended. You can't tell me they're unintended melees.
Are y'all reading at the top of the Twitter?
In the boob update, as we directed you to, it's the update with the boob on it.
Right.
They should have just put a picture of Michael Bublé at the top there.
Yes.
Oh, but I'm saying, like, where in the physical document are you guys reading from?
In like the one that says update, Destiny 2 update 8008. If you go to Bungie.net, click on Ikora's face, scroll down, you'll see the Destiny 2 update 8008 from the 23rd of July.
Hold on.
2024.
7/25/2024. I'm in the right one.
No, not 7/25. You're not in the TWAB. It's a different page on the website. The one that says update. that says 8008.
Oh, shut up.
Look, at the end of it, right, there's
there
about
eventually.
5 bullet points in this. He could have read all 5 bullet points, and it wouldn't have mattered if you'd have joined us in this discussion, because we could have just moved on to the top.
About. Since I'm not playing because I don't have a stream up, I want to actually see what's going on.
Well, they also fixed an issue where the Sniper's Battalion was still buffing the Still Hunt's golden gun shots. They fixed an issue where the Breach Executable Weekly Challenge would not complete the Aggressive Exploration 1 Seasonal Challenge.
Ooh.
They fixed an issue where the Ghost Tracker message on Micah 10 would not properly be removed after all of his quests have been provided. That's one blinky thing that's going to go away. Fixed an issue where the Transcendent and Iconoclast titles weren't counting toward Guardian rank requirements. And then finally fixed the issue where the Strange Favor buff from Xur was not providing bonus Strange coins when completing ritual activities. And that's it. Kind of a little update this week.
I did see, I haven't clicked to the video, but Aztecross did do a video on the Celestial Nighthawk Still Hunt Golden Gun damage and how much it's been reduced by. Don't know if you guys watched it or not. Is it worth?
I mean,
is it still worth having them?
It's still worth because it's still more DPS,
okay.
Right?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But it's just not as powerful. It's still going to be more DPS than just firing off the 3 shots on itself, right?
Yeah.
But
big number's still good.
Big number's still good, but big numbers aren't as good.
Big number, less big number. Big number's still good.
That what he said. So yeah, I mean it's always going to be worth it as long as the number's still bigger. It's going to be worth it. But they hit it really, really, really hard. Like I think it was like a 30-something% reduction in damage or some nonsense. That's crazy. Like
33,
that,
in fact. And they talked about that in the Respawn Report Roundup this week about how they made a change to it and moved it forward in the patches they were going to put out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hunters got hit hard this patch. Both PvE and PvP.
Yeah. Poor Hunters. I don't know what they're going to do now.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Devastated. All of you.
I mean, I had one thing that was finally working for me, and I could actually go play PvP without getting completely... And they're like, you know what? No, we're going to take that away too.
You should have chosen the other thing. Or the 6 other things you could do.
Yeah, and then they'd get nerfed and blah, blah, blah.
Well, they haven't yet anyway, so stop moaning.
I'm always moaning.
This is your weekly rundown of the final shape, week 9 starting on July 30th. The 9th week of the new expansion brings the 3rd week of Act 2 of Episodes, Echoes, where you can play one of 3 new Battleground activities, Delve, Conduit and Core. These join Enigma Protocol and Breach Executable in the Helm. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is available for teams of 2 Guardians. You can grab a friend or use the in-game Fireteam Finder to find a buddy, and farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. This mission does require some communication and cooperation mechanics to complete. In the final shape, the cooperative focus campaign mission this week will be Iconoclasm. The 12 Guardian Match-Made Excision mission is also available next to the raid for a weekly pinnacle, and the Grandmaster version of Excision will grant you the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The featured onslaught map this week will be Moth Yards, with the Fallen War Priest kicking off the boss rotation. For our Legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Devilian Mist and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blind World features Hive enemies and the Plague, Kragar. The Ascendant Challenge will be the Shattered Ruins over in the Spine of Keris. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a Mysterious Disturbance. The Trove Guardian is located in the Anchor of Light, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Zortal in Sorrow's Harbour. Nightmare hunts Tanix, Isolation, Zydron, Servitude, and Ghoul, Rage. On Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Asterian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. Dares of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Fallen, Hive, and Zydron. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Lycan armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 3. Chroma Rush, Ignition Code, Grid Skipper, Farewell, Sonja's Tale, Shattered Cipher, Main Ingredient, Long Shadow, Last Dance, Toil and Trouble, Wishbringer, and Last Perdition. The Witch Queen Weekly Story mission is The Ghosts, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Insight. The Lightfall Weekly mission is Desperate Measures, the Partition mission will be Ordnance, and the Vex Incursion will be Umshire Park. Continuing this Tuesday at Reset, all Master Challenges of the Salvation's Edge raid will be available for one more week, until the maintenance on August 6th, giving players another week to earn their Turmoil Engine Sparrow, acquire their Iconoclast title, and earn some additional adept weapons along the way. The Corota's End raid challenge this week should be the second encounter across the bridge, called Precarious Balance. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the third encounter, Macrocosm, called Cosmic Equilibrium. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the third encounter, Golgroth, called Gaze Amaze. The Vow of the Disciple challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Rogue, called Looping Catalyst. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Gatekeeper, called Strangers in Time. The Deepstone Crypt challenge this week is the second encounter, Atrax 1, called Copies of Copies. And the Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Sanctified Mind, called 0 to 100. Your pinnacle raid will be the Last Wish over on the Dreaming City, with all challenges available for each encounter, with the exotic fusion rifle 1000 voices being farmable from the final boss. The pinnacle dungeon will be the Spire of the Watcher over on the Throne World, and the exotic mission rotator will be Starcrossed over in the Legends tab, with the Wishkeeper exotic bow being the main reward. The exotic missions of the Whisper and Zero Hour will also be available in the Legends tab. This week's challenges are Discovery 3, Research and Development 6, Nessie and Expert, Echoed Bounties, Echoed Challenger Act 2, Nessa's Activities, Most Dangerous Prey, Taking All Challenges, and Calibrate Close Range. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Bunker E15 on Europa, Wednesday Concealed Void on Europa, Thursday The Conflux on Nessus, Friday Thriller Dome on Neptune, Saturday Hydroponics Delta on Neptune, Sunday Veil's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, and Monday Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome. Our night featured Nightfall will see us face against Thavix the Depraved in the Exodus crash over on Nessus, with the Warden's Law hand cannon being the featured weapon. The 6v6 control playlist will be Control, Momentum Control in the Party Relentless playlist, Showdown in the 3v3 playlist, New Game Mode Havoc Hardware in Crucible Labs, and Trials of Osiris at the weekend, with bonus Vanguard ranks and Nightfall rewards available all week long. And that's it for the 9th week of the Final Shape. So shall we discuss This Week in Destiny, or the TWAB, for the 25th of July, 2024?
Yep,
Good.
Respawn knows where that one is. He's on the ball. He's ready to tell us all about our PvP strike team updates.
Yeah.
And
So-
our
he's not.
class item
Don't
overthrow
con me.
tuning.
He's not read this. He's not
The
read
new-
this.
But we've also got the new attunement for the Brave Arsenal, an art show, the tournament finale live stream that's over, so we don't have to talk about that. There's, if you found Captain Jacobson, you can get a pin. There's a favorite build of the week, and then some bloopers. Yeah. I mean, Respawn can tell us now all about the Strike Team update, because I know he's read it and processed it, and Micah has already yelled at him about his opinions about it.
Mike
So-
hasn't played Destiny in a while since First Ascendant came out. So.
Okay.
So, changes upcoming August 8/05 update, General Crucible 66 map weighting. So they're going to weigh the maps that you like better than the maps that you don't like. Huzzah! The ones that they're going to improve upon are the lobby balancing, move to our second variant of Snake Draft, and with improved systems for dealing with fire teams. Update quitter systems. The system should be more lenient for players who rarely quit or get disconnected, but much more restrictive for habitual quitters. Sandbox balance PvP nerfs to Threaded Spectre and Swarm. Damn it. Anyway. Trials of Osiris, Passage of Persistence update. This is a huge win for me. Now, I will state that I don't think this should be a thing. Right?
It should totally be a thing.
Okay, so Passage of Persistence update for trios. While in a 3-person fire team, so you go in with 2 other people. You don't get matched with 2 other people. You go in with 2 other people, right? I've lost my place. There we go. Losses will not remove a win from the Passage of Persistence. Let me say that again. If you go in with 2 other people, when you lose, it won't count against you. All you have to do is you have to get 7 wins total, not in a row, not without a loss, just 7 wins total, and you will get the Adept weekly drop. You will not go to the Lighthouse, but you will get the Adept drop. Now, as a PvP scrub, I am 100% going to take advantage of this, but at the same time, I don't think it should be a thing. If you don't rate to be in Trials of Osiris high in PvP, then you don't deserve the weapons, and that's my opinion. You know, I've stuck with that a long time. You know, I haven't changed my opinion on that, but I will take advantage of it. You know,
and that is something else that will help the player base. I mean, the Trials player base has always been bleeding people from day one, it will at least, encourage people to go in with fire teams, because right now people are going in duos or solo because it's easier to be successful that way. Mm-hmm. And two, it'll give people like us going, well, let me just go in with my buddies on the weekend and have a crack at it.
No, don't be fooled by this. Do not be fooled by this.
I'm already fooled. I'm completely fooled. Unfool me.
That's the thing. Is when I heard this and when I read this, I was like, yeah, that's a really good thing. Us three, we could go in, we could play, we could, Have you ever, us three, gone into trials and got a win?
We have won a match. Yes, we absolutely have.
I feel like yes.
Do you think us three could even win 7? Not in a row, but just 7.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you how I know this.
Yes,
over the course of a long weekend.
Not even
a long weekend, and I'm going to tell you why. Because there's going to be other idiots like us that go in thinking the same thing.
For a short period of time, I think this is a stopgap fix. I feel that this is like if we tempt them with the fact that if they take a fire team, there is potential that they could just get the 7 wins and they're out. But I think on the flip side of this is that you have to be very careful. It's just going to be as kind of time consuming as it is to go in solo or duos to get the weapons, because yes, it's just the wins, but then there will be other people in there that are better, that have been playing trials a lot longer, that will also be
worse.
No, but they will be matched up against you, so that you are kind of fodder for the trials gods.
Still kind of in play,
no,
right? Or the card base or whatever.
No, it's based on cards. But if people, as you know, if you go in and you're playing constantly, even as a single player, I found that even if you go in and you get your win or you get your loss or whatever, and you reset your card, you are still constantly going up against the trials gods. And I think it's a good idea.
We're still fodder no matter what.
Yeah. In principle, this is a really good idea to get people to go into it, but I'm not 100% sure that it is going to work. I know I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on it, but when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's a really good idea. But then thinking about it, I'm like, but that's just going to get people like us to go into trials with the idea that it's going to be quicker for you to get the weapon and get out, but it's not.
Easier.
No, it's not going to be. I don't think it is going to be easier. I think we should trial it and have a go and see what it's like.
Yeah. I mean, for us, at least, I think. I mean, again, I think this is twofold. One, they want to encourage people to actually, match make. The people who are going in and playing every week, they're not going in with teams of 3 because basically put them at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
I think this is one incentivizing. If you're playing it anyway, go in with those teams of 3 and not just solo or not just the 2 of you. And it's also, again, giving that carrot on a stick of going, here is at least, again, it's a passage of persistence. If you persist with the 3 of you, there is at least a path to something worth your time investment.
Yeah.
I look at this sort of like, if you don't raid, going into a raid with 5 of your buddies and going, this may take us all weekend to get this done, but we may, get it done and get rewards out of this. This is sort of the same thing in my eyes going, this is going to suck. We're probably going to get our faces kicked in multiple times, but there is a path to a nice reward at the end of this. Whether it's worth it, that's everyone's decision they have to make.
Weapon, this would be a way to get at least one, Yeah.
I mean, if it's a weekend you like, if it's a weapon you like on that weekend, there's the chance to have it. And then once you have the, I'm trying to remember with persistence, if you're able to get there and you do have that full card, it does still give you, I think the higher chance for things to drop. And with all the other trials changes, there's just you're getting more drops overall, not adept ones, but just more drops overall for just being in the playlist and playing. And I think getting rep boosts and things like that. So like again, there is reason to go in if that excites you at all. Again, it's making trials a little bit accessible and trying to get people who are going to play anyway to play with the teams.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we should go in with on Respawn's of West Virginian Wi-Fi and let him be the leader and see how it goes.
Definitely.
I can't go in today anymore.
But this update isn't live. No, this update's not live yet.
Yeah.
And I think with this, we'll have to preference it. I mean, they say August, but normally when they do an August, or when they say a mid-season thing, it can be at any point during August. So it could be in a couple of weeks' time. It could be on the 6th of August, on that Tuesday reset, or it could be like the 20th of August. So
it'll be August next year for all we know.
Yeah. Or even on the last week of it on the 27th. So, but I'm sure they'll let us know closer to the time.
Hopefully.
So, that being said, competitive. Clash is reducing the score to win to bring match times closer to our 8-minute target. Collision, improving spawn logic. Iron Banner, temporarily removing tribute for...
Yay! We did it! How many Iron Banners did we have to go through before we got it temporarily removed? How many other things have been temporarily removed and just never seen again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Throw it on the pile of the old maps.
Yes.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so, as I was saying, temporarily removing tribute for additional improvements. Looking to address things like semi-random bank locations and kills not providing any points. So,
I think that's basically what we said a couple of weeks ago, which was really nice of them to kind of...
exactly what we said a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't...
On the enemy's side.
Yeah, I honestly don't know... Well, I honestly don't know how you can kind of change that, because even if you don't put the banks on the enemy side, the enemies that when we were kind of playing that, and they would spawn, not the enemies wouldn't spawn by you, but you would spawn near an enemy, because the game didn't realize that enemy was going to run from there to there and kill the guy that you're kind of spawning close to. And then as you spawn in, they're already dead. The game's not already kind of caught up that there's an enemy there, and then you've died, and they've got like 3 or 4 crests at that point, and the bank's there, and you're like, It's just, they're gonna have to call it something else, or do something else, like we said.
We're never going to bring this back.
Yeah,
we're going to assign it to the Gambit team, and then it's never going to be seen again. Just like the Gambit team.
Why do you pick on Gambit, Peroty?
I don't pick on Gambit. Bungie picks on Gambit.
I think this whole kind of twab with the PvP strike team is a good thing to kind of keep the game refreshed in the area that should be kind of refreshed, kind of during the lulls of Destiny 2. Because again, this week I'm hearing a lot of, I've played my kind of story missions, and then I've kind of got out. I'm playing other games, which is fine. I'm not knocking anybody that wants to do that. That's absolutely fine. But it's mainly content creators that have kind of, I think they've played it way too much, and they're not interested in the weapons. They're not interested, unless they're making content regularly for it. They're not really kind of invested in the game. So it's like they don't really want to kind of play anymore. They're just like, yeah, we'll come back when there's something else, and we'll moan about the fact that it's a very light season. But we did just have the final shape. Come on, guys, give them a little bit of a break.
I mean, are you saying that you don't? Personally, I like the idea of not having to be married to one game all the time, right? Like, I like going to do another thing, and like, hey, did you hear that, this thing is happening in Bungie? What? Let's go check it out. Let's get that weapon. Let's do the thing, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to dominate people, although, in their minds they do, because their bottom line is going to suffer or whatever, right? But I mean, as a player base, there's other games I do enjoy playing. And,
I'm not saying that. That's why I'm not knocking that. And when we had the big lulls in Destiny 1, when it was like you got the Dark Below, and then you got nothing for like 6 to 8 months later, you got the house.
That was rough.
There was, you could go and play your Nightfalls, you could go and play your raids, you could play, and then you could just play PvP. And PvP was the place that kind of kept the game going. And then when they introduced the House of Wolves and we had Trials of Osiris, it was like a fresh innovation to the PvP side of it. I think with the way that it's kind of structured now, with trying to do so much, and it seems to be so much kind of PvE focused to keep people kind of interested, which is the thing that takes a lot more time, or it seems to take a lot more time to do the PvE stuff, that then the PvE players that chew it all up and then they moan that there's not enough stuff for them to do. It's like, well, there's still PvP. There's still Gambit. There's still things that you can do in the game that are fun. And the PvP Strike Team update that we've had like recently, that they said, we are going to reinvest in PvP. We are going to double down. We're going to make sure that you get maps. We make sure that we update the playlist. This is a really good thing to keep the game refreshed, and I really like it. That's all I'm trying to say.
We agree with you. It's nice that they also remember the PvP existed after the big giant lull of we're just not going to touch it and hope for the best.
Yeah. Sorry, back to you, Respawn and Peroty, telling me about what they do.
There's also some general Crucible changes. We want to start with a general state of the Crucible discussion to recap some of the changes we have made, separated by playlist in the last few months that you may have missed, and to talk about where we're going to go from here. Over the past few months, we made several updates to Crucible with improvements to rewards and quality of life passes on all maps. Increase the base end of match rewards, including more Glimmer, higher chances for enhancement cores, and Crucible engrams. We've also created a double rewards booster for PvP. Spawning, zone, and heavy ammo location quality of life passes on all maps. This includes removing all backfield spawns from the Citadel, Cathedral of Dusk, Disjunction, and Convergence for non-rift modes, which allows the maps to play 30 to 50% smaller than before. Whatever that means.
It means you don't have to run a marathon to get back into the gunfight, only to be killed to run a marathon to get back into the gunfight.
Just back and spawn. Okay. So, I see.
Yeah.
I'm
like thinking of like Cathedral and Disjunction, it starts you way back, which you're very safe there, but you're also so far from the action.
I wouldn't say very safe. A warlock with with an urge to kill you is gonna make their way there, and then you're gonna spawn on the other side of the map, and then that same person's gonna kill you again. So yeah. Either way, it's better, I guess. Sure. Anyway, so we have heard your requests for updated map weightings in our 6v6 playlist. Generally, we want to keep all maps as evenly weighted as possible to ensure that you get to play on a variety of maps.
That does not happen.
I was going to say, I barely play PvP, and when I do, I keep seeing the same damn map. So I definitely don't think that's the thing, but I don't have a great pool to tell you. So
I'm truly never clear what maps are available in any given mode, because I feel like I see the same 2 to 3 maps over and over and over again. And that's allegedly with the weighting being even.
Allegedly. Yeah, no, there's no weighting of anything in the game. No map weighting, no perk weighting, no, none of that. But you seem to get the same perk combinations time after time after time before you get the god roll, right? Anyway, so, and we want to avoid removing maps from rotations whenever possible. However, we do acknowledge that players still prefer playing on popular maps more often. As such, in 8.05, we are making a change to increase the weight for Javelin 4, Burnout, Endless Vale, Cirrus Plaza, Dissonance, and Eventide Ruins. And we're reducing the weight for Disjunction, Cathedral of Dusk, Convergence, Twilight Gap, and Exodus Blue. The fact that they can adjust those weights would arguably tell me that it's been weighed this entire time. But whatever. Dead Cliffs is currently the only map not in control, as we are reworking the spawn and zone locations, but we hope to have it back soon. All other maps will have the standard weighting.
Big Cliffs on the pile with tribute.
So hold on, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 maps they've mentioned here, and then they say all other maps. So you have at least 12 maps in PvP. I didn't know you had that many. I'll be honest with you, I don't play that often. So you have at least 12 maps, and you're telling me that you don't have enough maps? Question mark?
Well, it's because you never see most of those maps. That's why.
Gotcha. Well, you're going to see them a lot less now that they're changing the weight, so you see the same 6 over and over again. Also coming in 8.05 are a couple of substantial changes we're making to 2 problematic systems that we hope will greatly improve the Crucible experience. I'm guessing lobby balance is one of them, since they just transitioned into that. They didn't specifically state it. So lobby balancing has proven to be an extraordinarily difficult puzzle to solve. Gee, you think? Since season 23 launched, we have been experimenting with multiple different types of lobby balancing systems, including random, average skill, and a variant of snake draft. While each of the 3 solutions has its own positives, none of them have done much to reduce the volume of feedback we get that lobby balances can feel unfair. Now, random lobby balancing generates poor quality matches more than any other method. Snake draft works well for all solo games but does not handle fire teams well, and average skill works better for fire teams but can lead to frustrating team compositions. We built a new variant. It kind of looks like rock, paper, scissors kind of thing, right? This beats that beats that beats that kind of thing. We built a new variant of Snake Draft that should handle fire teams better, and we'll be rolling it out in 8.05 as we continue to look for optimal solutions to lobby balancing. Now, I can kind of guess what snake balancing is, but if somebody knows what it is, can you inform me?
Yeah, so snake draft. So I'll put this in like a fantasy sports kind of scenario. Like say you 19 and I each have a team. Like we're picking teams for our fantasy destiny league, and it's basically
your turn, my turn. Got it.
Yes, but it'll go like respawn Peroty Night Demon, and then Night Demon respawn Peroty. So basically, like whoever gets pick 1, whoever gets pick 1 and then pick 2. The person who gets pick 3 will then also get pick 4. So you're basically going like top to bottom and then bottom to top. So then when it comes back around to me again, I'll have 2 picks in a row. So it's basically going 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. So it's sort of giving you you don't have the top pick, so maybe you can't get the best player. But by the time number 3 comes around, you'll be able to pick 2 players, or the other 2 teams can pick up anybody. So again, trying to sort of balance it out in that regard.
So in this particular case, since there's only 2 teams in Crucible, as far as I'm aware, outside of Rumble, right? Player 1 turn 1 gets the best player. Turn 2 gets the second best player and the third best player. Player 1
or fire team, yeah.
I keep saying fire player. I meant fire team, yeah. So I see. So
trying to pick who's the best person. Just like a draft would work in sports. Who's the number 1 pick? Who's the number 2 pick? Number 3 pick? But then trying to give not just give one team all of the best picks. Going you may not get the best player, but you'll get the 3rd and 4th best people on the field. And then so one team will get 1 and 6. Again trying to balance it out. But then when fire teams are involved, it could be 2 high skill players, 2 low skill players, 1 high skill and 1 low skill player. So I'm sure that's where the fire team matchmaking gets really muddy. Going how do we match Grenader Jake and Rando number 12 with 2 other people who just play Crucible sometimes?
I don't know, but I should never, ever see ZK Mushroom in my lobby again. Never! I can't believe that ever happened to me in Trials. That's still a very low light in my Trials experience right there. So I already talked about that. All right. Our internal tests have been quite promising, but we don't believe we're done iterating on lobby balances either. It's an ongoing battle to ride the line between pure fairness in terms of outcome and making sure that each player in the game has someone on the other team they can compete with head-to-head. We'll continue to monitor the results of these changes. We also plan to share a deeper dive into how we approach lobby balancing in a future article. Now I'm assuming you 2 played Halo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was any of this stuff in Halo? Was Halo just like a completely random bunch of random people that play the game?
Honestly, I don't know because when I played Halo in PvP there, it was in the age where you weren't getting weekly updates and they weren't telling you how all of this was tuned. And I honestly couldn't tell you. Halo played it very differently too because
Halo's very different.
Yeah, Halo was so limited. I don't want to liken it to Call of Duty necessarily, but it was very limited in there was 6 weapons and every player is basically has the same abilities. Like it's not like Destiny where there's a trillion different variations in space magic. It's basically you go in as a character, here's the same weapons that everybody else has access to. So it's not really, it's like an apples to orange comparison. It's not really a good way to compare the two.
All right, I didn't know because it was such a hugely popular game, and this company is known predominantly for that game, I would think, right? And to have so many issues when it comes to PvP in this game, I never played, but my brothers played constantly, and I never heard them complaining about the matchmaking. They'd get kicked off that oh my god, I can't believe that shotgun hit me or whatever, right? But I never heard them complaining about how the matchmaking was unfair, So I just didn't know what's the difference between how it did its matchmaking and how we do it here, and why can't you go back? I mean, is it a copyright thing?
Well, it's two very, very different PvP games.
Okay.
I mean, whether it's skill based or connection based, the variety between, I think the skill gap may still be there, but just the variety and play style in Halo is so limited compared to what Destiny is. Again, the best Halo player and the worst Halo player, I think there's less distance between those two, and that you there's just fewer tools at your disposal.
All right, so it's not necessarily how the matchmaking occurs; it's how the skills are weighed differently in this game because of all the space magic and weapons and yada yada yada. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, fair enough.
There's also a trillion game modes in Halo, so I mean, are you playing Cap the Flag? Are you playing Slayer? Are you playing Action Sack? Are you
And there's only about 6 weapons that all do the same thing. It's not like you've got all these different perks and you've got all these kind of different things that you can activate on the weapons on your armor. It was just you've got the armor. It may look different to somebody else's because you've played longer and you've got the Hayabusa armor and things like that. But the rocket launcher does the rocket launcher. The sniper does the sniper. And there are only certain weapons that you could pick up on the battlefield. And then sometimes you could go and get a vehicle. But it's,
yeah.
Very
you
different.
shoot them with a sniper rifle, they're going to die. There's no specking into, that sniper rifle can't kill me because I can spec my resilience higher.
Yeah.
When the rocket hits you, I'm dead. If I'm in the Warthog and the rocket hits me, we're all going to die. There is no, I can tank this because I can spec into this. It's I pick my character, I change the color, and I go in with the same weapons with the same TTKs as everybody else has access to.
But that also sounds like a pretty good balance, right? Because you just said that you can pick up weapons on the field. I'm assuming the rocket launcher is probably one of those, right? So you got
the game mode, yeah.
You got a group of people that are running around in a Warthog. You think that they'd be the huge threat, but it just takes one rocket launcher to nullify that entire advantage. It sounds like
it's a bunch of eggs in a basket.
Yeah. It sounds pretty well balanced, I guess.
I mean, there's just a trillion fewer variables they're trying to balance, is what it boils down to.
Fair enough. Just an exercise in things I didn't know, because, like I said, I mean, it's the same company that built it. Maybe not the same designers, but Bungie's Bungie, right?
Yeah. I mean, it would be sort of like trying to balance, how does Destiny PvP compare to Call of Duty PvP in terms of just the the variety, the variables? It's Halo PvP is closer to Call of Duty than Destiny. And just just the options you have, the things you can spec into, what you can change.
Oh my god, you think Gator hated me going invis here? In Call of Duty, I was the ninja assassin, would come up and stab you in the back and shoot you with a sub. Anyway, now we're gonna get into quitters. Bungie is really starting to crack down on some of these quitters, right? And I think the way they did it is great. I think great. I think it's acceptable. Again, I don't play the game modes, but I think Acid Cross's solution is so much better. And I'll get into that in a minute. But so our second major topic ties in a lot ties in a lot to the one above because quitters can throw a whole wrench into any lobby balancing equation. As it stands, currently, quitting has become something of an epidemic, especially in modes like Control and Iron Banner. But it's even negatively affecting Trials and Competitive as well. In our 66 playlist, we've seen an uptick in quitting across the board over the last several months. Mike is definitely guilty of that. Stemming in large part from higher skill players who find themselves joining and then quitting to search for easier matches. The problems with this are twofold. If they are one of the higher skilled players on their team, the lobby has been balanced around their presence. When they leave, it puts the other team at a significant disadvantage. Even if it's not the higher skilled player that leaves, right? Just a 5v6 in general is going to be more difficult just by its nature, right? So it doesn't even have to be the best guy that leaves. Anybody that leaves on a team is going to hurt the team. Excuse me, unless I leave, then I might actually make it better for you. Anyway, it forces us to try to pull a player to join an in-progress game, and it's unlikely we can find a player who matches the same skill profile, which means when that player joins a game that has already started, they're also at a disadvantage. If this was an isolated incident, it would be one thing, but unfortunately, there are a number of players who are habitual quitters, leaving more than 30% of their total games. Good lord. Which causes a serious negative impact on the remaining players in the game. Now, a limitation of our current quitter penalty is that we could not make it too stringent because we want to avoid punishing players who experience random error codes or who need to leave the game occasionally for a valid reason. Ergo, taking care of a baby, your mom tells you to pull out the trash, your dog just peed on your Xbox, whatever, right?
Getting error coded.
Yeah. Getting error coded, yeah, all that good
all
stuff.
Those reasons, yeah, it happens.
However, if you habitually quit a high percentage of your games, you will be placed into a probationary status. And if you continue to leave games, it will result in escalating timeouts for Crucible for every match left. For normal players, this should result in less frustrating instances of being booted from a match and getting timed out, but high volume quitters will find the system far less forgiving. The initial values for good standing and probationary statutes are also tunable. So if we find it to be too strict or too lenient, we can quickly adjust to smooth out the experience. Now, that's what they plan to do. What Ask the Cross has suggested is that if you're a habitual quitter, once you reach that threshold that shows you're a habitual quitter, and you leave the match, right? He said one of two things can happen. Number one, the first solution would be when you come into a game, that Bungie actually removes your ability to go back to orbit. Right? So, that you just can't do it. And if you alt F4 your game or turn off your Xbox, your character will still be in that lobby and they'll farm your corpse. So that when you come back, especially in competitive, you'll go from being, diamond to maybe all the way to bronze, depending on how many times you died in that match, right? And if you turn off the Xbox and try to go back into another match, guess what? Your character is still in that match, and you will rejoin that match. I think that's brilliant. I absolutely support that.
Just let them raid the quitter's vault. Oh, you left. Well, I mean, you left. Hey, these weapons you had on you, they're laying on the ground now in your armor. Well, just pick up that armor and weapons, and now it's mine.
Right. The first vibe I got is I don't know if you guys have ever watched anime or even care about anime, but there's this one, Sword Art Online, where the characters go in and they tried to exit and the exit message was just gone. Or the exit option was just gone and they were trapped in the game. And that was the first thing that popped into my brain. It was like, oh God, Bungie or Ask the Cross. What? What are you doing, dude?
Welcome to the Crucible, California.
Right?
Check in, but you can't check out.
Yeah, the abilities. This is the part that I am very not happy about. In 8.05, we're changing 2 Prismatic Hunter abilities to address the community feedback about Prismatic Hunter performance in the Crucible. The goal of these changes is to reduce frustration around playing against Prismatic Hunters without negatively affecting their performance in PvE content. Here are the changes. Threaded Spectre, aim assist strength on Threaded Spectre reduced by 50% versus players. I don't really mind that. That's whatever. It wasn't great to begin with, to be fair. And added a short delay before the aim assist takes effect. Again, I've kind of felt that anyway. Who cares? But reduce threaded specter detonation damage versus players by 45%. It already doesn't one shot, right? Now it'll get low, just like a Titan punch, right? But it doesn't always one shot unless they've already got previous damage or they have super low resilience. But to take that already non one shot damage and reduce it by an additional 45%, that's absolutely nuts. I don't even think the combination of Threaded Spectre and the Bombardiers is enough to kill a player now, which really sucks. Swarm Grenade. Reduce the distance that Swarm Grenade sub-munition projectiles can travel once they begin tracking a target by 20%. Now, Swarm Grenades, everybody's got those now, right? Even y'all, Titans, everybody's got Swarm Grenades?
Yep.
Okay. So, they said very specifically, Prismatic Hunter. So this Swarm Grenade nerf, is that limited to only Prismatic Hunters? Or is that everybody's?
Unless Hunter means Warlock and Titans, yes, it's just you.
So are Swarm Grenades on just Hunters?
Prismatic Hunters.
Okay, so Prismatic Hunter Swarm Grenades and only Prismatic Hunter Swarm Grenades submunition projectiles can only travel once they begin tracking a target by about 20%. So everybody else's Swarm Grenades are perfectly fine. Only the Hunter Swarm Grenade gets
Prismatic Hunter. You can go be your good Swarm Grenade Hunter on another subclass. So you can go be your Solar Hunter and get your Swarm Grenades as much as you like, but your Prismatic Hunter, 20% less tracking.
I get that, but the whole point of the combination is you dodge. You either throw in a Swarm Grenade and then you dodge, or you dodge and then throw a Swarm Grenade, and one or the other cleans up the match, right? Once they did the nerf to the Threaded Spectre, they shouldn't have had to touch the Swarm Grenade. Much less very specifically touching the Swarm Grenade only on Prismatic Hunters.
It's almost as if there was an outlier of Prismatic Hunters and Swarm Grenades.
Yes, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, with the nerf to the Threaded Spectre, they shouldn't have had to do the Swarm Grenade thingy, right? Do you see what I'm saying? The Threaded Spectre Swarm Grenade combination is what's deadly, not just the Swarm Grenade. So if you've nerfed the Threaded Spectre, you shouldn't have had to nerf the Swarm Grenade.
Then people will just spec into more Swarm Grenades and it'll be even more annoying.
And?
Mm-hmm.
Not just Hunters can spec into Swarm Grenades. Again, everybody's got Swarm Grenades.
Yes, but it was the combination of doing the Threaded Spectre and the Swarm Grenade.
The combination. Yeah. So once they nerf the Threaded Spectre, why do they still have to go touch, very specifically, the Prismatic Hunters?
Because it's oppressive. The thing is, they only touch the things.
It's oppressive on anybody, though, not just Hunters. It's the combination.
No, but it's the combination. The thing is, you can still do the combination. They're not taking away the combination. They're just doing the amount that you can kind of do, or the damage you kind of have to do to kill somebody is a little bit different now.
Yeah, but now you're telling me that even if I don't use my...
Okay, right. I'll give you an example. If the Titans were able to one-punch everybody, and every time that they were able to one-punch, they got a full melee charge back. So no matter what you did, all the Titans had to do was just run around and punch. And if it was on like Prismatic, and they put on like the Void thing, so they got an overshield and ran at you, you would find that really oppressive, and you go, that needs to be nerfed.
Right, but they didn't nerf.
Right, that's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Grenade.
That's all I needed from you. Is right. Okay. No, that's it.
It is now you're the one that comparing the two different things. You said if the Titans could get their melee back immediately
with an overshield constantly,
we're talking about a Swarm Grenade. We don't instantly get a Swarm Grenade back. The grenade still has a grenade cooldown. We get our melee back, which is a smoke bomb. So if you say
he's comparing one oppressive gameplay style to another oppressive gameplay style.
Yes, that's all I was doing.
That's going to get used and abused. He's not trying to compare the exact same thing, but just saying this is a thing that's going to get used and abused over and over again, and you're going to see everyone running it and everyone using it.
What I'm trying to say is, once you nerf the main part of the problem, which is the threat inspector, you could have left the swarm grenades alone.
No, because I guarantee you, if you'd have said, okay, take my example, and you take away, like, we reduce the overshield by 50%, you would still say the Titan's getting their melee back 100%. You go, that's the bit that, yes, you can take away their overshield, but you still you haven't addressed the full problem. The full problem is both things together.
I mean, I would address the overshield's a bigger problem than melee, personally. But
well, no, not really, because overshields can be burnt down very quickly.
And Bungie clearly looked at both of these. They clearly said, let's touch one thing, see if that does it, and obviously decided, no, the swarm grenades were still a little bit too oppressive on the prismatic hunter. Let's, take that distance down a little bit. I mean, it's not like they just looked at this and said, we're going to touch both of them. I'm sure they looked at one versus the other and going, which of these two levers can we pull to make, to get the effect they're looking for?
I mean, I am a prismatic hunter, right? I've never thought swarm grenades.
You and everyone else in PvP.
I'm not even just talking PvP, right? But just in general, swarm grenades themselves are not oppressive. If anything, I'd say our arc ones are more oppressive because we have an exotic that specifically buffs that.
Swarm grenades are more oppressive in PvP.
Okay.
That's why everybody runs them.
I mean, whatever. Sure. I don't see it. I'm not a PvP player, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. But I just think both nerfs, especially the grenade, only on the hunters was a bit much. If you want to nerf the grenades overall, okay.
You don't play PvP, so why do you care?
Well, I'm going to start playing apparently soon. It changes to trials. Whatever. We'll continue to monitor Crucible feedback and data throughout this release, and we'll make additional adjustments if necessary. Check back next week for a more in-depth look at weapon and armor changes coming in 805. Now, I've harped on enough. I think somebody else can handle the special ammo economy since I have no idea what's going on there.
It's special, and it's an economy, and they're going to make a lot of changes to it. Yeah, I looked at this big chart, and I'm like, you can try to give us all these numbers and weapons, but we're just going to gloss over and go, there's lots of things. So I'm going to skip their big chart and just say, as you can see, the amount of special ammo has gone up slightly compared to the meter and crate system, but is still down significantly from where it was in the old respawn system of basically, you get it won't pull and respawn. In addition, shotguns are less egregious outliers compared to both iterations of the meter, although they're not as bad. Although not as in-band as they were with either the respawn or the crate system. The delta between the usage for high and low skill players has similarly been reduced to be a more acceptable level. So moving forward, they're going to stick with this blended system for the Crucible until they have completed the rebuild of the ammo meter, which is broken, and that's why it's not in trials at the moment. A process which is extremely complex but is well underway, and will give us more future updates. Basically, they're going to continue to tweak the ammo system, the special ammo system, and there's lots of facts and figures and charts about percentage of shotgun kills versus in this system and that system, which if you're really interested, you can go look at. But, basically, we're tweaking the special ammo system. We're not happy with it. Check back later. They'll have this new system rebuilt eventually.
I can tell you that this right here, this number is not accurate. I do not get 24.3% of my kills via special weapons. I don't.
It's not. Yeah,
and the fact that they singled me out specifically right here, Respawn Original, it's a little jacked up. I'm not a great PvP metric, and to put my numbers here, and they're not even the right numbers, I think it's a little offensive, Bungie. I gotta say.
I mean, your shotgun kills are 47%, and your fusion plus sniper kills are 43%. So, I mean, that's basically all you're using. You're running some kind of shotgun sniper or shotgun fusion combination.
I can assure you that is not the case.
Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, I mean, Bungie, we appreciate the numbers, but it's like, yeah, we're gonna tweak the special ammo system. We're not happy with it. We rolled out the one in trials, it broke, so we rolled that back, and it'll be there when they end up fixing it.
Possibly.
Yeah, and now more trials. So since season 21, they've made a whole bunch of changes to trials. They've collected a bunch of information on those changes, and in addition to the changes that they've that they're going to be making. We want to update update the passages, increasing the post-game reward substantially, provided bonus rewards for playing as a trio, and even added the weekly set of rewards that triggers when your card is initially flawed to help offset the sting of defeat. So here's basically the recap of the things they've changed in the past. So your Passage of Wealth gives you the extra trials rank on every win. Amount rewarded increases as the player's rank increases. Your Passage of Persistence, your loss following win will remove a win from the player's card. Consecutive losses do not remove additional wins. Getting to 7 gives you that weekly adept drop, but you're not going to the lighthouse regardless of how many losses you have. The Passage of Ferocity is if a player has not been flawless for the week, losses after 3 wins will reset back to 3 instead of flawing the card. So sort of that backstop of it takes you back to 3, so you can maybe get to the lighthouse. Reverts the old behavior of granting bonus for the 3rd win once a player goes flawless. So basically, it's a one and done. Once you finish your ferocity, you can't just continue to go flawless on a ferocity unless you're actually good enough to get those 7 wins. Passage of Mercy: if a player has not been flawless this week, 2 losses can be forgiven. Reverts the old behavior of forgiving a single loss once you do go flawless successfully. The reward updates, which is really what drug us a lot of us into trials to begin with. Any win has a 50% chance to drop a non-adept weapon. Whatever the weekly weapon is, 50% chance to get one when you win. Once you have been flawless and are playing on a 7-win card, you have an additional 50% chance to drop the adept version of the weekly weapon on wins. When you're playing as a trio, for game completions that do not have to be a win, so just game completions as a trio, 50% chance for a non-adept weekly weapon, 50% chance at a trials engram drop, and bonus trials rep. So again, already really incentivizing you to go in and play as a trio. And you can now get bonus rewards including Trials Armor, Enhancement Cores, Trials Weapons, Enhancement Prisms, based on how many wins you got before your card has been flawed. And they basically want to say, hey, these changes have made the game in a healthier state. We're getting, higher percentage of people playing in trios, about 30, increasing that number about 30%, and providing a small influx of casual players, just a few, but they see room for improvement. So the Passage of Persistence, when you play as a trio, we've updated the passive persistence so that losses will no longer remove wins. That means you can play trials as a full fire team. On the Passage of Persistence, you only need to get 7 wins total, and you'll receive a drop of your weekly adept weapon. Quitting a match still results in having a win subtracted, and you must complete the match to forgive the loss. So no quitting, go play. Try your best. Maybe you'll get there, maybe you won't. Again, they're still doing more tweaks to trials. In the long term, they want to bring more people in the trials by offering alternative 3v3 experiences, more like Iron Banner, in terms of the loot chase, but not being reliant on wins. We also want to make the challenger pool less of an all-or-nothing experience, so we can lean on what they've started with the flawed card rewards and further reward win streaks to make it feel like less of a waste of time if you fall right at the gates, while still maintaining the exclusivity of the flawless rewards. So, giving you reasons to play trials if you're flawed.
You're flawed.
Always. I may be competitive. Probably not, but I may be. Our ranked playlist has also received substantial changes. In the last 6 months, they've moved to the rank-based matchmaking. The side effect, again, if you're playing at a higher rank and off-peak hours or in low populations, your game times are going to be low, which I feel like they just copy and paste this line for the last couple of years, because that's always going to be the case. If you're a high-skill player playing in a low population, location or time, yes, matchmaking will take longer. That's the nature of the beast. They updated the way the points are rewarded when you're and how you're penalized for losses. They've clamped the variance of point rewards. No longer lose extra points on losses if your skill is lower than your rank. If your skill is higher than your rank, you still get bonus points for wins and reduce penalties on losses. Change the game modes to Clash and Collision. Added the weekly rewards and post-game Artifice Armor drops. The second tier of the competitive weekly challenge now awards Ascendant Alloys. And the third tier for players Gold 3 and above gives you the Artifice Armor. A chance for the Artifice Armor that enables the ability to get the drops when you get wins above Gold 3. The chances increase based on the highest rank earned this season in competitive. So the higher the rank, the better chance you have. Added the competitive weapon focusing and granting increased chance for the exotic weapon catalyst on victories in the competitive playlist. Again, all good changes for competitive. I mean, It's nothing, not a thing I think the three of us play often, but at least it's more enticing to go in, especially with the chance of artifice armor, assuming you can get up to gold 3 and stay there. As someone who flirted with gold 3 at the end of last season and couldn't really quite stay up there because he's just not that good. They do say basically at the launch of the final shape, they had their best 30-day stretch in over a year in terms of player participation in the competitive playlist. And specifically, this previous week was the highest hours played per account in the last 8 months. So since they made a lot of changes recently, they're sort of, going to pump the brakes on that. Let the playlist stabilize, sort of let people get used to the way things are now. Again, look at the numbers, the game modes, the rule sets, see where things shake out, then make additional changes later. But they're sort of done touching competitive for the moment. And they go in to reiterate their, like Respawn said at the top, they want to get the Clash game mode to sort of closer to that 8-minute target. So they're basically taking the score to win from 40 to 35. So bringing that a little bit, down a little bit so the games go a little bit quicker, closer to 8 minutes. In addition, we'll have updating the spawn policy in Collision to favor spawning near your teammates. We recently made this change to Clash, and we've seen an incident of the split spawns go down dramatically, and think they can do the same thing for Collision. So there's nothing worse than spawning in and you're just being nowhere near your team and the other team's bearing down at you. Longer term, they have a couple goals they want to tackle. We think the point rewards of the ranking system, though improved, still need some work in terms of how understandable they can be. Yes, Bungie, that goes for all of your systems. We'd like to move back to a system where player performance in match has more of a direct impact on how much you gain or lose, and where each player can easily understand why they earned the amount they did at the end of each game. And they also want to further improve Collision's gameplay, and we're investigating ways to make those matches feel fairer, more predictable, and they'll share more later in the future when they get around to it. Mr. Night Demon, do you want to tell us all about Iron Banner?
I would love to tell you all about Iron Banner. Iron Banner is a fantastic game mode, and it should be enjoyed by everybody. It is fun. It is a fun game mode. And don't let anybody else tell you that it's not a fun game. You should all be playing it every time it comes up and just enjoy it. Apart from when it's Tribute. Tribute, no. Boo, bad. Don't go near Tribute. Iron Banner Tribute, no. And it's going away, so we don't care now. So that's good. Is there anything else you want me to tell people about Iron Banner?
That pretty much sums it up. That's everything.
I mean...
Yeah, so basically Iron Banner Tribute has been moved to the back burner for improvements, further improvements. And this is something I think we've spoken about a lot on the podcast, and I've heard a lot of other people say about it. Please stop putting game modes into things like Iron Banner to trial. Put those in labs. And I know you're only going to get a small amount of people playing them, but it will give you an idea of whether, if it's an enjoyable mode, more people will go and play it. And word of mouth will get round and people will go, this is a fantastic game mode in labs. Please, can we have this in the main kind of game area? Don't keep doing this and put them straight into Iron Banner. We've spoken about it many a times and said, please, you've done it every single time. It's like Iron Banner is like a labs for you to try en masse and sneakily kind of get these game modes into the game. But I'm telling you, if these things are in labs and you put them each week, I mean, we had I think it was the 2 weeks that we had Iron Banner, there was no labs. So it was like you were forcing people to go and play Iron Banner Tribute and Iron Banner Control. But if you had a really, really good fun game mode in labs for those weeks and people opted to go and play the labs rather than Iron Banner, that would tell you something about Iron Banner. Now, I'm not dissing Iron Banner at all, but I'm just saying, please stop putting stuff in Iron Banner to trial it en masse. Put it in labs. If it's good, word will get around that it's good and it's fun. Or maybe even do like you've been doing with like the charity streams or kind of the PvP, again, the tournaments, the PvP tournaments. Get things, put them in the labs, get people to play like Fallout Plays, Cool Guy, True Vanguard. Get them to have groups that we can actually watch them play these game modes. And if they're enjoying it and they're testing it out and they're saying to people, this is a fun game mode, you can do this, X, Y, and Z